One.
Hi, this is Tanner Rainbolt. This is my module working with Mandy and Rick here. Our question was, as an advanced educational professional, how would you apply data and data analysis to ensure your continuous improvement plan is focused on closing gaps? So a little bit of background information about my school. I teach physical education at Wheat Ridge Middle School in Gardner, Kansas. I've taught there for the last 5 years. I am one of three PE teachers in the building. Um, right now, as an elective teacher, we don't have accessible data. We teach grades 5 through 8 in fifth and sixth grade. Um, our classroom environment, so they just have one teacher. It's more of like an elementary, and they have data for each one of their students. And then seventh and eighth grade is your traditional middle school or high school setting where they rotate classes by subject. So there's math, science, ELA, and history. And then they have data accessible for each one of their students in their grade level. So again, as an elective teacher, I do not have, for example, MAP data or DIBBLES data, which are two assessments we do at our school for each one of my students. So if I were a principal at my current school, I would make sure that all staff had access to the data and was trained on how to read and analyze it. I would make it a priority to set time aside for our staff members to look at and analyze data in a collaborative setting. So I would use one 45-minute plan period per week during our PLCs. PLCs, we either meet content based or grade based with our teammates. So my desired outcome from this would be assessment data accessible to all staff members and collaborative and reflective time for staff to make changes on what and how we are teaching and set individual learning plans for each individual student. So again, the PLC meetings would be one time per week for 45 minutes. Do you guys have any questions on the process that I would set up as a principal?
Okay, the one thing I would ask is on your process sounds like a good setup, but when you do things like that, people don't like change. So how are you gonna build a vision of the importance of this data review and collection? How are you gonna build that vision?
Yeah, I think it would start at the beginning of the year. I would have some type of professional development session. Honestly, just looking at and analyzing data, how to do it, especially for like elective teachers who have never done this type of process before. And then just show data that, I know that different schools in our district use their PLC times very, very well, and they've increased their MAP and state assessment scores. So just to show the progress that can be made if we really work together as a team and as a school will be beneficial to all of our students.
Okay, my question is, I know you mentioned in-service. What other ways or what other things will you offer to help support your staff, especially those staff that doesn't have any experience in the data collection process?
Right. So in our district, we have an assessment coordinator. So I could bring her in just to kind of help, train and show how to track the data, where to find how to track it. We have websites and resources that staff can use, just so that I can make staff, feel more comfortable. We all know that if you're prepared in anything in education, you're going to do a lot better, and you're going to put your anxiety at ease. So just providing them with different resources and people. We have a reading and math specialist in our school. Just using her as another resource will be beneficial and help put staff at ease, I believe. So I have one question on what I would need help with, and we kind of addressed it a little bit, but one thing that I need help with is how do I go about getting staff buy-in on the new PLC meetings? So kind of Rick mentioned this before, but staff doesn't really like change, not necessarily. So what, from your guys' viewpoint, what could I do to make sure that I have, every single staff member on board with this process?
Well, that's going to be a tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
I think maybe what you do is identify, first of all, the people that are already on your side that understand the importance of these new PLC meetings, and then maybe talk to them very informally and find out how you can bring everybody over. You're going to have the holdouts. You're going to have those that aren't going to like this at all. You just meet with them individually and talk and find out why they might be dragging their feet. But I think it's in a change like this, you have to almost attack it individually and build support that way, one person at a time.
Okay, thanks.
I agree with Rick. I think if you attack it individually, that will help. Our neighboring school district does late starts, and they do it, but they don't do it every week. They do it bi-weekly, and it gives a chance for the teachers to come in, and so they're not giving any more of their own time than they're already giving. And a lot of teachers in our smaller districts that are around us, teach and coach, so their plates are full.
Right.
So I think if you can make it so that PLC time is during the school day already, it would be beneficial. And I think more people would buy into it.
Okay. Thanks, guys. That was my module 16. Thanks for watching.